Shout out to Tokyo Treat and Sakurako for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca, and this week I'm going to be creating some OCs using TikTok character challenges. If you haven't seen these kind of challenges before, you make a character based off of different attributes, like the skin color is the color of your shirt, or if you have long hair, give the character short hair, stuff kind of like that. The past couple of weeks have been rough due to medical stuff that I'll talk more about later. So drawing some characters that have the details kind of decided for me sounded nice. Plus, I really like designing characters. This first challenge is for creating a vampire core OC. And it turns out this one is actually from Instagram, but I found it reposted by someone on TikTok. First, the skin tone is decided based on if you're an introvert, omnivert/ambivert, or extrovert. I'm an introvert, so the skin is white. Their hair length is decided based on my hair length. I think at the moment my hair is considered long, so my character will have short hair. The hair color depends on your sign. Honestly, I didn't really know what this meant, so I had to Google it. I guess I'm a fire sign, so my character has red hair. For the eye color, you pick a random number. I chose 2, so I got yellow. If you are an only child, you give the character pointy ears. And if you have siblings, you give them bat wings. I have siblings, so bat wings it is. If you have pets, the OC gets old-timey clothes. And if you don't, they get modern clothes. I don't have any pets, so I get modern. So for my vampire, I decided I want to make him kind of be a snooty little twerp. I thought about going for a mysterious older gentleman, but that felt a bit overdone, I suppose. For the outfit, I am drawing more modern clothes. I went in with a turtleneck that has a loose-fitting overshirt. This kind of mimics old-timey clothes, but in a more modern way. For his hair, I went with a kind of asymmetrical hairstyle that has a long piece on the right side. So in case you missed this video that I posted a couple weeks ago, I was admitted to the hospital due to a large blood clot that goes from my hip to below my knee. When I had recorded the voiceover for that video, it was my 3rd day back home from the hospital. I was unable to go upstairs to my office, so I made the video on this tablet. After I made that video, I started trying to finish this video that was half done at the time. My sister told me about a program called Parsec that lets you control a PC from another device. So I was able to edit the video from my office PC on my tablet. It was actually pretty cool. Once that video was done, I started working on this video. At the time, I had been home for almost a week. I still wasn't allowed to go upstairs unless my husband was around, so I was drawing on the tablet. Because I was still feeling kind of drained and working with a new setup, I kept this drawing very simple. It's just a simple headshot, however, I did want to try to make it feel more interesting in some way. So I started to try to think of a way to include a hand. I have found that if I include a hand in a headshot, it makes the drawing feel much more interesting. I ended up with this kind of pose where his fingers kind of go around his eye area. It felt like a slightly off-putting pose that went with the vibe I was kind of going for. Next was the cleanup sketch that I would also be using as line art. I was keeping my lines sketchy, but also trying to make them clean enough to work for the finished piece. On this device, I don't have a lot of my custom brushes, but I did have the right Baru pen downloaded, so I used that to clean things up. Also, at the time of filming this audio, I've been home for about 10 days, and I do want to mention that this video is going up like a week after I finish making it, because I'm making it in advance. I am making it ahead of schedule because my husband and I may still go on our trip at the end of the month. By the time you are watching this video, we will have been back from the trip for a couple of days. Also, don't worry, I am not pushing myself, and I am very much listening to my body and resting as much as I feel like I should. Thankfully, things are improving. Pain is very much down. For the most part, I haven't had to take any painkillers. I do still very much have to baby my leg. It is pretty much always in a propped up position, and I can't walk on it for super long. However, with the compression stocking on, the amount of time I can spend walking is definitely increased. I wear the stocking basically all day and only take it off for sleeping. Also, when I had to put on the stocking for the first time, it was so tricky because it is really tight. I have a higher grade medical stocking, so it isn't just like a normal compression sock. When I put it on, I have to wear rubber gloves so that I'm able to grip the sock. Thankfully, I have gotten much better at putting it on. It used to take me several minutes, and now it takes me maybe just a little over a minute. Even though I am babying the leg, I do try my best to move around for a bit every hour or so, since it's good to keep my blood flow moving and I don't want to lose my strength. I am scared my left leg will get much stronger than my right, but so far they're still the same size it seems. Also, sorry I'm kind of just dumping a bunch of medical stuff on you. I just want to give you all an update as to how I'm doing, since I know the medical update video made you all worry a lot. So I want to update you to let you know that things are improving, it seems. I have a lot of upcoming medical appointments, and I'll try my best to keep you all up to date. We will kind of circle back around to this topic later, but for now let's talk a bit more about the art. Like I've mentioned, I was working on this drawing on this tablet, and well, when I have Clip Studio Paint and my screen recorder running, the device gets pretty warm, and it started to get very warm as I was drawing. As I was working, I had just saved my art file, and I was about to save my captured footage. However, when I saved my art file, the whole device froze and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even turn it off. I waited a few minutes, and then the device blue screened and it said it was going to restart. However, it never did. The device stayed warm and was making noises like it was doing things. However, the screen just stayed black. After waiting like half an hour, I eventually unplugged the tablet from its charger and just waited for the battery to drain because I couldn't get the device to do anything no matter what I tried. And after that experience and losing the footage I captured, I didn't really trust the device anymore. Thankfully, I did have Clip Studio Paint capturing my process, so that is what you're watching right now. And I was eventually able to power on the device to get the files off of it for this video. At this point, the hospital said I could go up and down stairs as long as my husband was around to assist me if needed. And it was my husband's day off, so I decided to work at my desk in my office. I found a way to set up my desk that is comfortable for my leg, thankfully. I pulled my desk away from the wall a bit, and I put my vanity stool under my desk to prop up my leg so that it can be propped up as I work. I was worried this would be an awkward position for drawing, but I just need to move my tablet a bit more forward than I usually would, and it actually feels pretty okay. The position doesn't feel awkward or unnatural, thankfully. For the lighting in this picture, I decided to have the lighting look like it is coming from a fire or a candle. I thought this would help the picture feel more interesting and also kind of creepy. When it comes to this character, I didn't think about his characteristics or backstory all that much. For these drawings, I'm mostly just drawing the characters, not really trying to make full-fledged OCs. However, for some reason my brain wanted to name him Tristan, and he's like 14 years old. He probably lives in a big manor and is very spoiled and always gets what he wants, and is very bossy. Also, I noticed that I gave him pointy ears when technically I wasn't supposed to do that. I was only supposed to add pointy ears if I was an only child, but like I kind of just added them without thinking because it seemed like something a vampire would have, and I like drawing characters with pointy ears, so yeah. Anyways, here's my vampire OC. The lighting was fun to render, and I enjoyed drawing his hairstyle. I did keep the design and composition more simple, but for the next character, things get a bit more interesting. But before we move on to the next character, I want to thank Tokyo Treat and Sakura-ko for sponsoring this video. Tokyo Treat and Sakura-ko invite everyone to experience Japan from the comfort of their own homes through their snack boxes. Tokyo Treat is a monthly fun and exclusive Japanese snack box featuring unique and seasonal flavors from all around Japan. Each box is filled with a variety of up to 20 fun and exclusive Japanese snack items that are only available for a limited time. Sakura-ko is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and a special Japanese tableware. Both boxes come with a booklet that allows you to learn more about the snacks you receive as well as allergen information. They also contain a wealth of information about Japanese culture. Tokyo Treat's theme is Snacktastic Halloween. This month, Tokyo Treat brings you the experience of Japan's spooky season with fun and wacky snacks like spooky spicy crackers, ghost gummies, a Halloween fruit juice potion, and many more. Two of my favorite snacks from this box are the Kit Kat apple pie and Pie no Mi mini pies. I guess I like the pies this time around. These Kit Kat has the same warm, comforting flavor as fresh apple pie. Like seriously, it is crazy how much it tastes like apple pie. Sweet and flaky with a rich custard center, these mini pies are super yummy. Next is Sakuriko's theme, Colors of Kyoto. This month, Sakuriko invites you to experience Kyoto's rich fall delicacies, where seasonal flavors and cultural heritage come together. Enjoy both rich and authentic snacks like Kyoto Arare, Yuzu Doriyaki, the Matcha Chocolate Crunch, and many more. All pair perfectly with a special Gyo Surijiri Sencha from Kyoto. And you can drink it from this month's special tableware item, the Floral Common Yumoni Teacup. It is so pretty. My two favorite snacks from this box are the Soba Boro and Kitsune Senbai. These are meticulously crafted using soba and buckwheat flour and are baked to perfection for a sweet and crisp delight. This senbai is just too cute. I almost didn't want to eat it, but it was very yummy. These boxes are always a special treat and make great gifts. If you want to check them out for yourself, you can use my code DRAWMANGA to get $5 off your first box. There are links in the description and pinned comment down below. Thank you so much again to Tokyo Treat and Sakuriko for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to drawing. So this challenge is for making a creepy fairy. The skin color is based on hair length. I have long hair, so my character gets white skin again. The color of my eyes picks the wing color. I have brown eyes, so we get wasp wings. These details go based on your siblings. I have more than one sibling, so my character gets claws. This is related to pets. I do not have any, so my character gets scars. This one decides what the character holds based on your last name. I didn't feel comfortable answering this one, so I skipped it. And this decides on a prop for my OC to stand on. I wear glasses, so my character has to be on a tooth. And this will be very interesting. So let's see what I can do with this. My idea for this character was a wasp fairy. Since my character needs to have wasp wings, I thought I would kind of lean into that theme. Plus, she needs to be covered in scars, and I felt like this was fitting, as oftentimes it seems like wasps are more aggressive in nature. To help the character feel bug-like, I'm going to make her eyes be fully black with no irises. For her body proportions, I want to make them be very long and lanky, to maybe kind of help push that kind of off-putting vibe I'm going for. So I'm going to make her limbs, especially her legs, longer than I usually do. As you can see, I brought in different pictures of wasps to help me out with the details and to use as inspiration. The picture of the wings were especially helpful as I wasn't totally sure how to go about drawing wasp wings. The process was actually very fun and I liked drawing them, but I often really do like drawing wings. For her outfit, I wanted it to feel overall very sharp and also sleek. I was almost trying to lean into villain-like characteristics for her design. One of my favorite details is the pattern on her torso. I mimicked the pattern that I was seeing in my reference pictures. I added a couple other details like a head accessory that I ended up totally forgetting about. Some straps to her top and a skirt that goes along the back of her. I thought this might help mimic a kind of insect sort of look. So now that I had a rough idea for the design, next was trying to think of a way to pose the character. At first I thought I would have her pose with a tooth that is long and sharp, but I was having a hard time thinking of a pose to go with this that had the feeling I wanted. So I switched over to a more human-shaped tooth, and instead of having her stand on the tooth, I'm going to make her sit on it, as I felt like a sitting pose would better fit the character and would better fit the canvas size. I was liking this idea, so I decided to start refining it. Before I started cleanup, a part of me really wanted to try to find references or to make my own, but at the same time, I was reminding myself that I'm trying to treat these illustrations a bit more casually, so instead of overthinking or worrying about trying to make things just right, I decided to just go for it. It was fun drawing this character because her proportions are really long and out of my usual, so I felt like this gave me a bit of leeway. If things look a bit off or funky, it kind of feels okay since the character itself is supposed to be kind of off-putting or creepy. After I got the sketch more cleaned up, a part of me wanted to do another cleanup sketch since some areas were still pretty rough. But once again, I'm trying to take things a bit more easy, so I decided to go in with line art instead. For the line art in this piece, I wanted to play around a lot with the line weight and allow it to get very thin or very thick in different areas. Also, kind of circling back around to my husband and I going on a trip at the end of September. Some of you might be thinking, Becca, why would you go on a trip right now? You should be recovering. And I just want to put your thoughts at ease if you are worrying. Our trip is only about a 4-hour drive away, and we will take breaks for me to move around. Plus, we got me a wheelchair to use while on the trip, and it has attachments to prop my leg up. For a while, we were thinking we would have to cancel the trip, but with how things are progressing and how I'm feeling, I feel like I'm up to it. Plus, I feel like getting out of the house and doing something different would be good for me. Things are starting to feel a bit more normal as I'm getting used to and adjusting to this new way of life, so to speak. Like I'm getting used to taking baths instead of showers. I'm very used to sleeping in the living room on the mattress we borrowed from my mom. We kind of want to wait on having me sleep in the bedroom upstairs since I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night for a snack, and it's easier for me to do that if I'm on the main floor, but hopefully I can move back to our bedroom soon. I would say the hardest thing to adjust to so far are the 2 injections I have to give myself every day. I am getting more efficient at doing it, but it's never fun and I always kind of dread it. But I need to have the blood thinners for the next several months to help prevent another clot. And I definitely don't want another one of those, so injections it is. The actual poking part often doesn't hurt that bad if I do it right, since it's going mostly just into the fat on my tummy, but the medicine and stuff does burn after for a couple of minutes. So yeah, it's definitely not fun, but compared to some of the shots I got at the hospital, they don't hurt as much as those. I am glad I have been able to kind of get back into the swing of working on videos. I think I would go crazy if I didn't have something to work on or distract myself during this time. I can only handle sitting in the living room trying to entertain myself for so long. That being said, I'm not fully back into the swing of things. My main goal is just getting a video done for YouTube. I'm not working on my webcomic or any other projects. I do apologize to my YouTube members and Patreon patrons as I've been MIA on those. But thank you for your patience at this time. Along with the blood clot, there are some other medical things going on that I don't totally feel ready to talk about yet. And this is also kind of affecting my ability to get work done. But once I feel comfortable, I will talk with you all about it. But thankfully, things are going in a positive direction. After I finished the line art, I added the base colors and a hexagon pattern to the background to help it feel less empty. The colors I ended up with were different from what I had originally thought I would do. I was thinking I would use much more black, but I was having a hard time making the different elements stand out with all of the dark colors, so I ended up using much more yellow as well as browns. For the lighting situation, I'm not doing anything too fancy. I didn't want the lighting to hide the design at all, so I went with something a bit more neutral. I am mostly applying a muted reddish color set to multiply to the character and blending it out wherever I feel like it is needed. There is an artist on Twitter, and I can't remember their name at the moment, but they have this way of shading where they apply the color in a kind of sketchy way, but then they blend it out. And because of how they sketched in the color, the blending has some variation in it when they blend it out, and I always think it looks very cool, so I tried experimenting with that a little bit. A part of me felt like I should use cold colors for the shading to make the piece feel maybe a bit more creepy, but with all of the warm colors in the design, I wanted to use warm shading, and I do really like how the colors end up looking together. For the dark colors, I apply lighter colors to them to add dimension and shape. I do also apply shading, but since the colors are already so dark, going in with some highlights is more effective. Oh, and I quickly add some shading to the tooth. I've never had to draw a giant tooth before, so I didn't totally know what I was doing. I kind of just winged it and did what felt kind of right. So at this point, I had added my first pass of shading, and a part of me wanted to call the piece done because I wanted to be done. But at the same time, the shading just didn't feel done yet. That's when I decided to do my method of applying a shadow color all over the character, and then erasing where I don't want the shadows to be. I have talked about this way of shading in previous videos, and it's often a very quick way to add a bit of form to your piece. And in this case, it definitely was a fast way to make the shading feel more fancy. I got all the shading done in about 9 minutes, and that's much faster compared to if I was applying the shadows. Oh, also, I forgot to mention the new Zelda game came out today, and I got my copy. I've only played it for about an hour because I've been trying to get work done instead of playing video games, but even just the hour I played was so fun, and I'm so excited to play more of it. The art style is so cute and I'm loving playing as Zelda. I totally want to make fan art for the game. Maybe I need to do another drawing whatever the heck I want video. So here is my creepy fairy. I decided to name her Vespina. I imagine she is playful, sarcastic, and willing to do anything to protect her territory. Overall, I had a lot of fun drawing this design, as it is very outside the usual kind of things I draw. It's always fun to experiment with different character designs and try new things. So yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing these. Before we end, I want to thank my super awesome YouTube members and Patreon patrons for their support. It truly means so much to me. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!